Communicating between different cultures can look very different depending on the culture and location. If you are treating a patient from Australia, you should know these three things about the person's communication style. My communication style can be much different than others. I have more sarcastic, crass communication style that may come off as rude to some. However, in some cultures, that is normal. I learned about these differences on the website called Cultural Atlas, copyright 2022, and most of the information in this speech is from that site. Have you ever had a doctor who didn't communicate the same exact way you did, or did they communicate well with you? It is important to know different communication styles so everyone can have the opportunity to have respect and understanding when communicating. First, I will explain a little about Australians and their humor. Then I will touch on their use of swearing throughout their culture. Finally, I will discuss one nonverbal communication, eye contact. Here is a image of the continent of Australia and the pieces that it is broken into, as well as the small island of Tasmania. And I got this photo as well as some other information from World Atlas, copyright 2022. One form of verbal communications for Australians is their humor. With Australians, humor is very frequently used. You can almost always expect light-hearted, joking. Australian sarcasm may be dry, direct, and witty. Sometimes it can be hard to know when they are kidding, as they do not always break from the joke to clarify. In situational circumstances, jokes are also often made to lighten moods or approach difficult circumstances. As a healthcare professional, this could be hard to distinguish. Next, we will discuss Australians' use of swearing while communicating. Swearing is more common in Australia than in many other cultures. In Australia, TV programs are less censored and mainstream society is largely desensitized to language that others may find offensive or vulgar. It is likely you may hear an Australian swear at some point in conversation. If you do so yourself, it is unlikely you will be found offensive or rude. Although it may be unacceptable for a healthcare worker to swear, it should be taken lightly if done so by an Australian patient. Now turning to a nonverbal form of communication, eye contact. Australians have a mixed view on eye contact, making it a little troubling for someone foreign. When speaking in a group, it is preferred to make eye contact equally with all those engaged. Some cultures may find eye contact to be interpreted as disrespectful or confrontational. In Australia, eye contact can be translated to sincerity, approachability, and trustworthiness. So in conclusion, talking about cultural communication for Australia, we have mentioned two forms of verbal communication and one form nonverbal. We first talked about humor, then swearing, then eye contact. Keep these things in mind if you treat an Australian patient. You never know, it just might help.